Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to Coffee with Colt. I am so happy you came back to join me this morning on this beautiful, almost winter Monday morning. Depending on where you live, you may already be experiencing some of that winter weather. So far here in New England, it's not been bad, honestly. It's been cold at times, but no snow, nothing like that. Maybe some rain, but it really hasn't been too bad. This morning, I have my coffee mug sporting the Tennessee Vols. Cheers to that. My sister lives down near Knoxville, so I am starting to collect quite a bit of Tennessee Vols memorabilia, I think is what you'd call it. And yeah, I don't know why when we were kids, we were always like obsessed with anything Tennessee. We used to watch softball every season. I still do, college softball. And I don't know if it was the color or what it was, but we were always obsessed with them. So it's kind of ironic that now she lives down there. So good morning. Grab a cup of coffee, your water, your tea, green drink, whatever you got this morning, orange juice, apple juice, and let's cheers to Monday morning. That actually makes me think whenever softball season rolls around and we're towards the NCAA tournament, I think we'll definitely do an episode about college softball. It is becoming quite the popular sport, but it's widely underrated. And I think doing an episode during the NCAA tournament would be super fun. So keep that on your radar. When I'm doing these Coffee with Colt segments, I honestly am just talking to whatever is coming to me at the time. It's not, that thought out, that planned out. I don't want it to be this like robotic, inauthentic experience. And so when I'm going to record it, I wake up, I do my morning routine, and I sit down with a pen and paper and just kind of throw my thoughts out. And that's where these segments are coming from. And this morning, the first thing that came to my mind was intuition. And as soon as I thought about intuition, it just spilled out of me. And so I wanted to touch on that this morning and just give you a little bit of perspective and maybe things that you've not thought of regarding your own intuition. And maybe you have great intuition and you just didn't realize that's what it was. And so let's chat about it. So your body is an absolute amazing machine. It has all these mechanisms that we are not even consciously aware of. And intuition, I think, can really fall into that category because when you're having physical manifestations or mental manifestations of you're having, depression, low mood, you're having GI upset, or all of a sudden you're having all this acid reflux and heartburn that you've never had before. And, you can't focus, this can be a variety of things, but for a lot of people, this comes from stress and from something not aligning in your life, and it shows up physically in your body. And when I'm talking about intuition, it's knowing when to just trust your gut and when to know that something is off and something needs to change. And I think this is a great pushing off point to realizing, okay, at this point, I'm not feeling my best self. Something is not aligning in my life. And that's when you sit down, and that's where the writing the things out, which I talked about in the last episode with the gratitude, is writing these things out gives you a physical something to look at and to be like, oh, I've been thinking this every day, or this has not been aligning in my life. That's when you start to know yourself and to learn who you are and to pay attention to those little things. You may be doing well for a few weeks, and all of a sudden that little feeling or that physical symptom or manifestation comes up in your body, and you're like, there it is. Something's off. And you start to, once you do this enough, you start to get really good, become a professional at it, because you know yourself so well that you're like, yep, that's got to change. I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. I know what to do. I have the tools to deal with this. I don't remember where I heard this. I need to start writing down whenever I hear these amazing light bulb moments. But the fact that the idea that your body keeps score. And what I mean by that is your body, when you're going through things, whether it's trauma or it's just, small emotional things in your life, your body keeps track of all that stuff. And that's how people get to a point to where like they start getting these chronic illnesses that pop out of nowhere, these autoimmune diseases, or not always, but because your body's, holding on to all that stress and all that trauma and all those things that you're not allowing yourself to process and to get through. And it keeps going. It comes out in these ways, like I said, like the heartburn, the the depression, the anxiety, things that are popping up that you're like, I've never had this before. Like, where the hell did this come from? So if you're going through something like that, I think it would be wise and a great decision to take a step back, write these things out, talk to a therapist, talk to a friend, and figure out what is causing you to feel this way. What I mean by intuition is something's wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it. This is something that as nurses, they call it a sixth sense. We hear about this in nursing school. And once you have been a nurse for a while, you really do get it. It's this sixth sense that, when a patient comes in and maybe their vital signs look okay, their labs look okay for the most part, but like there's just something wrong, and you just feel it for whatever reason, your intuition, your gut feeling, whatever it is you want to call it, you just know something is wrong. And maybe the doctors are pushing it off like, oh, it's no big deal. Nope, it's fine. But in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, like this is not going to end well. And then what do you know, an hour later, the patient's crashing and things are going awry. And that's what I'm talking about, is that, that sixth sense of your own life, or knowing that feeling that arises in your body to where it's like the alarm's going off and you're like, something is not freaking right. And it's okay if you don't know exactly what it is. You don't have to be able to pinpoint it every time. But if you start to notice that feeling rise up in your body, and it's like I said, that it's like a little alarm going off, and you're like a little flag going up, and you're like, okay, like something's not right. And I mean for you to take that into your life and to notice, when it's in a relationship, a job, where you're living, anything like that. It's like in your life to where something is not aligning. If you can start to trust your intuition and trust that what you're feeling is trying to tell you something, then you can make those steps to start changing and start pivoting and start going into a different direction, or changing something in your life to where what you're doing is aligning with your future, your goals, your vision, and who you want to be. I think a lot of people, the issue that they have with intuition is knowing when and how to trust yourself. I know that I've really struggled with this, and I don't know if this goes back into my childhood. That's what I've kind of assumed this comes from, is the lack of trust in myself. When it comes to the relationships, the jobs, the living situations, whatever it may be, there's no explanation needed. Let me take a couple steps back. Yes, if you're in a relationship and for whatever reason you're trying to pivot, go a different way, explanation should be given. But when it comes to putting your 2 weeks in at a job, or, doing things for your personal life, there's not an explanation that you have to give to everybody as to why you're doing it. It's up to you. You have that inner knowing. It's your intuition. You know that something needs to change, and you don't have to be so worried and stressed about what everybody else is thinking and worrying about over explaining yourself. That's something I have done forever. That could be a whole episode on its own, is over explaining yourself in every single thing that you do and feeling like you have to justify your actions that you're taking, because you really don't. You have the power and the control to exit left at any time or exit right. So that's what I've got for you this morning on this beautiful, wonderful, absolutely amazing Monday morning. I really hope that you are getting outside, breathing in that fresh air, seeing the sunrise, enjoying that beverage that you have in the morning, even if it's water. Savor it, close your eyes, and just feel it all the way. I've got my coffee mug here. I'm going to cheers to all of you, because I am so grateful that you come back and listen to me chat about whatever it is that's coming to my mind. So cheers. Cheers to the Tennessee Vols. Shout out. Gosh, that coffee is good. If you don't drink coffee, honestly, I don't know how the hell you get through your days. But if you do, kudos to you. You're amazing. Your body can function without the caffeine in the morning, and I salute you for that. And by the way, yes, I am dressed in my hospital attire. I am about to head into work. For those of you that don't know, I work in the emergency department, and if you don't have really good gut instincts and intuition, the emergency department is probably not the place for you. But on that note, I think every single person has the capability to have strong intuition. It's finding the way to trust yourself and being self-aware of those feelings arising in your body and not worrying about what other people are thinking when you know something needs to change or something is wrong, because you know. I'll leave you with that. Again, my name is Colton. This is Coffee with Colt, a segment of the Mile 17 podcast. I love doing this on Monday mornings with you. I hope that wherever your day is taking you, whether you're on your morning commute, whether you're at home making breakfast for your kiddos, or you have the day off and you're enjoying your cup of coffee, just chilling on your couch, or you're exercising, you're on a run, whatever it is you're doing, walking your dogs, maybe it's your fur babies that you're giving your attention to. I am sending you well wishes and for an abundant and amazing Monday and week. Christmas is coming up. If you're going celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. I'm so thankful for all of you. And I can't wait to see you next time. We have a lot of fun things coming up. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Oh, also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Colton Lord 17. That is Colton Lord and then the number 17. And follow, like, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or you can find me on YouTube at Colton Lord. So yeah, show me some love. It really helps. I love the feedback. And I will catch you next time, everybody. Be safe out there and have a wonderful, wonderful week.